Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to Sir Imran. So today our group would like to present on question 1, which is what is the differences between Android and iOS. And before we start, I would like to introduce our group members, which consists of myself, Ahmad Sufian bin Muhammad Syahrir, Nurul Adawiyah binti Muhammad, Dina Syazani, Ilya binti Nazaruddin, and also Noor Amira Atira binti Noor Azman. So now I will pass it on to Lina, where she will give a brief explanation on the introduction of this question. Thank you.
Okay, now we are going to start with the introduction. The mobile technology industry is highly competitive and is dominated by two major players, which are Android and iOS. These two operating systems have been locked in a fierce battle for supremacy since their first respective releases and have each developed a dedicated following of users. Differences, advantages, and disadvantages of each operating system will be discussed based on their reliability, security, ease of design, the implementation, flexibility, and lastly, efficiency.
Next, I would like to explain about ease of design. Although both are the two most leading technology brands in the market today, their app design differ. Despite such, both Apple and Google have their set of guidelines that app designers and developers should follow. Apple have the human interface guideline, while Google have material design. Both Android and iOS offer unique design elements appealing to different user preferences. Apple iOS is known for its minimalist design using flat design guidelines that emphasize clarity, difference, and depth. Meanwhile, Android material design language allow for greater customization options. The design guideline for both platforms ensure a seamless user experience covering important aspects such as navigation, button control design, and typography. This will ensure that app designs are consistent on their respective operating system. In terms of navigation, Android features always visible button on the bottom of the interface, while iOS only has a home button. However, both platforms have a similar top navigation bar with a back button, title, and action button. Despite their difference, both Android and iOS maintain familiar patterns to enhance the user experience. Whether you prefer a minimalist look or customizability, both platforms offer a well-designed user interface.
Now we will move to the implementation. Android uses Java programming language as its proprietary language, while iOS uses Swift. According to developers, Java tends to be harder than Swift to learn. However, Kotlin, which is a Java replacement, will soon be easier to implement Android applications. The tab will return soon. Android developers use Android Studio while iOS relies on Xcode tool. Android Studio has cross-platform support, high readability, and a wide range of development and debugging features, while Xcode tool is simple to use and offers bug fixing tools that work with all iOS devices. Android Studio has a flexible build mechanism and a sophisticated code editor and layout designer. While for Xcode tool, it is simple to set up but becomes complicated for larger projects. The choice between the two ultimately comes down to personal preference. Now, I will pass to the next presenter for the next aspect.
Next, we go for the reliability. As we know, Android is famous for their USB Type-C charging, but with fast charging. It actually gives access to the user to a huge range of ports and accessories for universal charging to the docking station. While for the iOS, has software and security update from new to older devices. But between these platforms, they have many applications available in their application store. But for the Android, they have Google Play, and also for iOS, they have the App Store. In their report, they have stated that the Android have 3.3 million of applications, and for the iOS, they have 2.11 million of applications in the first quarter of 2020. However, between these platforms, iOS are more reliable since they have low chance that the application has buggy. It's because of the timely update that iOS have served towards their user. which making the malware, trojans, and viruses are hard to enter their system since there are no option provided other than download the application from the App Store and also the other trusted sources.
Next, in security aspects, Android has its own sandbox for each application. It has an external storage that is unfortunately accessible by unwanted code. Differ with iOS that shares the same sandbox in all the applications with no external storage. This makes the unwanted code difficult to access, view, and storage. While in the navigation system, Android is better since it gives access to its user to change according to their choice, but in iOS, the navigation is restricted. It only allows the user to put them in a folder and cannot remove the apps from the home screen.
Yeah, as we have looked from different aspects, and now we go to flexibility. For the Android, they are flexible in managing apps. They allow the user to hide all the unuseful apps to the app drawer and just put all the applications that are vital and also that frequently used in the home screen. It's opposite with the iOS that put all the application in folder which can cause other problems. Despite all of that, iOS still have something in continuity that goes all in the app hardware. It helps the user to make or receive phone call or text messaging from their Mac or iPad even though their iPhone is not in the same room.
Thank you, Noamira. So now I would like to present the last subtopic of this question, which is in terms of efficiency. So as for efficiency, iOS is likely to be more efficient than Android because iOS devices have batteries that last longer than Android, despite the size of batteries that are smaller. Meanwhile, some Android devices have extra software which consumes power in the background without the user even noticing. For multitasking purposes, Android is better at multitasking because it allows third-party applications to run in the background completely independently. While for iOS, it does not have a true multitasking skill because it blocks third-party applications from running in the background. So, in conclusion, when it comes to the previously listed criteria, both Android and iOS have their own benefits and drawbacks. While iOS also has an advantage in having a superior user interface, high quality security for keeping personal data, and a more efficient operating system, Android is more flexible in allowing developers and users to modify nearly everything, cost effective, and many other things. This can help developers decide which operating system they wish to use when creating their own software in particular. That's all from us. Thank you.